Fellow EDC enthusiasts, I'm Diener. Welcome to the channel, Genetic Modified Viking. Today I'm going to do 5 reviews, 5 knives. It's going to be kind of accelerated. I'm not going to go into any detail. I'm just going to kind of cover some stuff about them. And so let's start from there. Give you just a quick background. I collected numerous knives, several knives, a bunch of knives prior to starting the channel. I had no intentions on starting a channel. But then it was later I thought, oh, what the hell, throw my hat in the ring. So here we are. At any rate, at one point, I had accumulated so many modern folders, and I got kind of bored with them. So I wanted to expand my horizons a little bit and learn more about the world of pocket knives. So I started getting into traditional pocket knives. I covered it on a previous video. I called Austin over there at Traditional Pocket Knives, got an education from him, and that kind of started it. And so it was shortly thereafter, though, that I was introduced to Finch knives. And if you don't have a Finch knife, you really need to get one. You need to check it out. They're a lot of fun. They got numerous models out. I think they got like 15 or 16 models out now. At any rate, I bought a Finch knife. And if you're not familiar, Finch knife takes traditional designs and they mix it with the modern mechanisms, the frame locks, the liner locks, and so on and so forth. All of their blade steel so far is 154 cm, so I'm not going to cover that. I'm just going to cover the sizes and the features of the knives, but they're all 154 cm. And so that's kind of it. So let's just get right into it. I made some notes here because there's just simply a lot of information that I got to cover. This one here is the model 1929 Nightcrawler. The overall length is 6 inches. The handle is 3.5. The blade is 2.5. 2.5. This is about as small as I like to fit into my hand. This is the Nightcrawler version. This is a saw-cut bone. There's the shield, the traditional shield that Finch puts on all their knives. Milled titanium pocket clip, stainless steel, scaled frame lock, not a bolster lock. The material that is part of the bolster component of the knife is the same material that is the other part of the frame. So I'm calling it a scaled frame lock. So at any rate, Finch, they put a really nice flipper tab in here. It's got jimping on both sides. And what I like about the flipper tab on the Finches is that it provides a place to choke up. And I'll show you that right here. This is really nice, especially on little knives. That was smart. That was very smart because you can actually choke up on that and it be comfortable in hand. Some jimping here might not have been bad right here on the spine. But at any rate, that is the model 1929. It's, like I mentioned, 2.5 inches. The height of the blade is 0.75. And satin finish. Really, really nice satin finish. Minimal billboarding. Right there it says Finch. Over here, the blade steel and the model number. So that is the Finch model 1929. Next is the Holiday. Here's the Holiday. This is probably my favorite Finch to date. Overall length is 7.2 inches. The blade length is 3.15. So it's right near that sweet spot. This is a Wharncliffe design with black linen micarta scales. Listen to that snap. This bugger is snappy. Look at that beautiful satin finish. Hand rubbed satin finish. The billboarding is the same as the model 1929. Milled titanium pocket clip, black linen micarta, same deal, same type of frame setup. Beautiful knife, snappy. Just listen to that. Damn, that is snappy. They got the same flipper where you can choke up on it. Perfect knife, absolutely perfect knife. The kind of knife you can take anywhere. Take it to dinner, pull that out. It's completely safe. Cut your steak with that sucker on a dinner date, huh? So anyway, that is the Finch Holiday. Next is the Runtley. Now, this is the one. This is as small as they make them. I haven't seen any smaller, but this is about it. This is the overall length is 5.5 inches. The blade length is 2.25 inches. 2.25. This is small, especially with this kind of design, and you'll see what I mean. When you hold that in your hand, you really got to watch it right here. If you grip that at all, that thing will fly out and it will nick you because I've done it. But I'm going to, there we go. I made it without cutting myself. This has got a dual finish on the blade. It's got the hand rubbed satin as well as the stone washed. And you can see that is just absolutely beautiful. A little bit bigger billboarding. They turned the shield sideways on this one. Mill titanium pocket clip. Of course, here the blade steel. And it says Rutley on it. Now, they put a nail nick on here. This is a liner lock, by the way. They put a nail nick on here. That's really for aesthetic purposes, just to give it that traditional look. But I don't even know that you would want to. I mean, you can, but what's the point? But same thing. This is where that flipper, that design of that flipper tab really comes into handy, because now you can get the thing in your hand and it become more functional. So this is made out of the McCurdy wood. I don't have no idea how the hell to pronounce that. Some exotic wood. It's a pretty neat looking little knife. Anyway, that is the Rutley. Next is the Takuna. Now, the Takuna is probably their first attempt at making a bigger knife. I'd like to see them do that, a little more of that, a little larger knife, as well as up their game on the blade steel. A little bit more premium steel would be nice. But this is the Takuna. Now, this is 7 inches overall length. The blade length is 3 inches. So that's good. It's right in that same neighborhood as the Holiday. This is so tight. This material on the handle is so tight. They got the sideways shield again. I thought it was milled aluminum, milled titanium pocket clip, but this is, in fact, G10. But look at that. It's so tight. I don't know if the camera will kind of show the detail, but it is extremely tight on the material pattern. So take a look at this blade. Is that unique? Now, they call this a normal straight blade. However, a normal straight blade, the height of the blade here doesn't change as it gets closer to the end of the blade. This does. You can see it is deeper here. And so doesn't really meet the qualifications or the characteristics of the normal straight blade. So I just did a little research. I looked into other blades. Couldn't find any in terms of knife blades. So I looked at swords. There's one called the falchion, and it kind of resembles that. I'm going to tip it sideways. There you go. A falchion sword blade. The other one is very similar, is a machete blade. So really, this is kind of its own animal. This is a liner lock, and perfect size. I really like that size of the knife. That is the Takuna. Put him there. Next, and finally, is and I think this one's out of order. In fact, I'm quite sure it is, but we're just going to go with it. And that is the Devil's Finger. Here it is here. I haven't used this much. This is the Red Ruff Marcarta, and it is the one drawback right there is the pocket clip. Not a big fan of wire pocket clips. I think they could have done something better. But at any rate, it is reversible. Back to the shield this way. This one here is 7.2 inches long, so it's in that sweet spot. The blade length is 3.1 inches, which is the same as, I believe, the Finch or the Takuna. But look at the blade shape on this one. Isn't that sharp? It's I guess as close as it can be to a spear point. The grind kind of throws it off a little bit. So if it's not a spear point, it's damn close. But this is the black washed version of it. And I see this particular model on the on any of the retailers' websites. So this one here I bought directly from Finch, the Finch website. So that's possible as well. This is a nested liner lock. This is I think their first attempt at a nested liner lock, but it is a liner lock. Similar, the flipper allows you to choke up on it, which is pretty nice. Yeah, that's it. So that is the Devil's Finger. Now, I'm just going to throw a couple comparisons in here, and we'll call this quits. I got to get to the restaurant and work on the axe lanes, but we're going to put up just the typical comparisons. Everybody's familiar with the PM2. There it is there. As you can see, even the largest knife that Finch produces is smaller than the Paramilitary 2. And then here is the PM3. And you can see there. Come on, let's get this up here a little bit. That way we can get him in the view. There we go. So their biggest knife is probably right in the neighborhood of the PM3, the Para 3. That would be the correct label. I'm just going to bring him up in here so you can kind of see a little bit closer there. So that's what we're looking at. At any rate, that's it for the first 5 Finches. I've got more to do. I'll do the same format until I get kind of caught up. I've got a couple. Actually, I had their last release. Oops, sorry about that. I had the last release still in a box. So what I want to do prior to doing that is get caught up on my Finches, and then from there we'll get more current. So I am off to work on the axe lanes today. And till the next review, this is Diener. I'm out of here.